Well, look at what we have here, residents. I spy with my little eye, Brian! It's Brian Hess!
I'm back,
Yay!
finally.
We all forgot what you look like, Brian.
I forgot what some of you all look like, so.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you. I feel like I've been gone for like 2 years, although it's been a week and a half, but it feels a lot longer, so I'm glad to be back.
Yay.
Well, welcome to another episode of Around the Square. This is your Executive Director, Brian Hess, for those of you that may have forgotten by now. But I'll jump right into kind of where we're at right now. So, COVID update for you. We currently have 3 positive residents in our skilled nursing and no other cases across our campus at this time. We are no longer reporting our positive staff members up through our system. We still follow our process, so if anybody from a staff standpoint is positive, they will obviously go home and quarantine until the time that they are able to come back. But we won't be reporting on any staff positivity that's lingering out there. So right now, just 3 positive residents in our skilled nursing. If you do go over to the skilled nursing to visit, please just make sure you wear a mask. We have those masks available in the lobby for you. Otherwise, you're free to roam about the rest of the campus without a mask. So an update on our blue team work that's being completed. So the interior drywall work on all resident apartments is wrapped up now, completed. There are still a few very small minor areas and some common area spaces that they're working on. The rest of the interior work has been completed. Flooring damage. So if anybody has flooring in their apartment that was damaged through the storm, and we'll be getting that new flooring in place. The flooring vendor is actually going to be on site Monday, this coming Monday, which is the 24th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so they will be on site here and we'll begin that flooring replacement. I'm waiting to get their final schedule of which apartments they're going to be working on. They are going to work in some of the empty units first, just because they need to build their schedule and kind of see the timing and everything. And then for those residents that will be impacted, we'll make sure we get you a schedule of when they're going to be in your apartment. And if we have to move you or resituate for a couple of days, we'll make sure we get that taken care of. Our window replacements started this week. Yay. Exciting. So they are waiting to get the lift here. They need a lift, obviously, to get up high on the on some of the windows. I have given them a list of priority windows to tackle first, and then they'll be continuing to kind of move up the building. That's why you'll see that they did start on some of the lower floors, just because they don't have the lift yet. So they're going to be working through that as soon as they possibly can. And the lanais, we are still working on that process to get those glass lanais started. Those should be starting here in the relatively near future as well. And we'll get a schedule out for the lanais being replaced, because those will impact residents in those units. Revinyls and rescreenings going on of the lanais that have the vinyls that just needed to be rescreened or revinyls. So that is continuing. I believe, if I recall, we are in the process of converting over to Gables East and starting on the Gables East 5th floor and working down. So Dawn, have you seen them doing any in Gables East yet?
No, I was told that they will be doing that Monday.
Okay, Monday. So that's going to be the next step, will be Gables East, and I had to ask Dawn because I haven't been here to see where they're at. So anyway, they are getting ready to jump over to Gables East. Monday will be their start. They will start on the 5th floor, and we'll make sure that some messaging gets out as to which corridors they'll start, and they'll kind of work around in a fashionably order. Roofing. So roofing, if you've noticed, we had roofers back this week, and they are on the Harbor Health Center working on those flat roofs up there. They're going to start at the Harbor building, then they're going to go to our chiller buildings behind East and West. Then they're going to move into the Village area and then finalize the East and the West buildings with the flat roofs. So that's kind of going to be their process. It should be a lot less noise as far as pounding on the roof, because it is a flat roof and not a nailed shingle. So it will be a little bit quieter as they're working, but they will still have that lift moving around and taking debris off the roof and bringing materials up there. Our painting is continuing as they're working through the painting on Gables East. We'll continue to work through that process of the pressure cleaning and the painting, so your lanais and windows will get covered up for a period of time, and then they'll reopen those, and I say covered up, it's a clear plastic, so you'll still get light, you're just not going to really be able to see out very well. with that plastic in it. They usually are tackling that within a couple of days' time. So if you do get plastic covering your window or your lanai, it's only going to take a day or two, maybe 3, depending on weather, and then they'll be able to take that off the area quickly. And then the fencing and electrical work. We've started on some of the electrical work on the campus. They're working through some of those items, and that's things like the lighting that is not working or light posts that are down. We are working through that. We've been waiting on some of those light posts to come in. So we've ordered some of the ones that need to be replaced completely, and so they'll continue to work through that process, and fencing will probably be one of the last items to go back up. Once we're ready to go, that fencing will go back up with the blue team as well, and those will be fencing around things like back behind the garden, around our chiller buildings, where some of those big chiller towers are kind of setting up there, and a few other areas where we have fencing that needs to be replaced. And then Mainscape is continuing to work on the landscaping. So they have kind of wrapped up the majority of the main entrance area all the way up through to the flagpole and up by Town Hall there. They have also done some of their work at East and West, and then they will be working in the back of the property next. That will be back by the lakes, the 2 lakes in the back of the property. That'll be their next stop to start working through, so we'll continue to see that progress. They are still anticipating, I believe, an end of August time frame for having all of the landscaping done. And then a couple of other items. So our pool AC is here.
Yay!
On site. I cannot
Plug
believe
it in.
I am super excited. So it is here. We have a little bit of a challenge that we weren't anticipating, but the unit is too large to fit through the doorways of the building. Yes. So
I don't mean to laugh.
Yes. So with that being said, they are going to be tearing out the door frames. They will get the AC in the building, and then they will be reconstructing those door frames back in place. So a little bit of extra work to get that in, but that is scheduled to take place, I believe, about mid next week. So we'll be working through that. We'll make sure we get a message out to y'all as well, so you know before that takes place and what the impact will be for you all as residents. And the last thing I just wanted to share with you, Sherry Robinson is going to be visiting with us next Tuesday, the 25th. She will attend our resident council. She'll be there, to hang out a little bit afterwards if somebody would like to chat with her at all. Maybe give a brief update at the end. And then she'll be meeting with our resident council after council next week as well. So she'll be here just to kind of see what's going on and answer any questions from the resident council members, and just kind of get a tour of the campus and check out some of the things that have happened, the Gables East renovation, as well as some of the hurricane work that's been done. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this episode of Around the Square.
We have a new organ here. This was from Marty Donovan's family. Well, hello, you two. How's the new organ?
Whoa, loving it.
You're loving it?
Yeah.
Can you play another tune for me? Come on, you can tickle those keys.
Have you got a grass skirt?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
You gonna do the hula? Now, this is the organ that belonged to Marty Donovan, a resident here in Gables West. She has passed on, and her family has sold this to us, so that was wonderful. We have a new organ.
Get out of the way.
No, you're fine, Ruth. You're fine. I would love to get you on camera playing too,
Yeah.
because Ruth is great.
Oh, let's see. Wait a minute. It's got your phone.
Look at him go. It's like a cockpit in there.
Go back down to.
Oh, a nice Hawaiian tune. Hear the birds chirping? that was fantastic. I love it. Wow, bravo, bravo. I heard birds chirping in that.
Well, this has a song setup, something called song setup, and it has harmony built in, so they got the birds and everything
Oh,
else. And any of the songs, I went through the song setup and listed the songs that I play.
uh-huh.
So I've got a whole list of the songs that I play, and it has background built into it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so this is a fun thing for you, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you're good at it.
Well, not really.
Not really. It doesn't that look I mean,
You
that looks like more controllers than on an airplane.
Oh no.
With Sherry. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Dawn.
Sherry, we're here to talk about those containers. These are the recyclable, reusable. And that's what I think a lot of people are getting confused with. So these are reusable.
Correct.
And you asked when residents order their food to go,
Yes.
and they receive those containers, that they put them in the collection bins, and I'll be showing where those are, to return those.
Yes, just a quick rinse. We wash them once they come back in the kitchen. We wash them, we sanitize them, and then we reuse them. This way it saves us from ordering the styrofoam, which is filling up our landfills, and none of us want that.
Right, and they can't really recycle the.
No, they're not
the-
recyclable.
Yeah,
They're
those
just-
aren't recyclable.
Correct.
And I think that's what what's confusing a lot of people is we call them recyclable because they're recyclable within our complex
Correct.
because we're reusing them. And they're reusable containers. So anytime a resident gets these,
Yes.
they're encouraged to just rinse it after they use
Yep,
it.
quick rinse.
Rinse it, and then put it in the collection bin.
Mhm.
Because how many did you send out yesterday?
Okay, so for comparison's argument, when we very first started these, I had enough to do 2 full rotations of meal service.
And that would be how many containers?
I had enough to do 180 meals.
Okay.
So I had 360. Today, I had 2 returned.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow. Wow.
So I don't know if there's, confusion with the residents, if they're just putting them in the garbage. But they do not go in the garbage. Just put them in the bins that you're going to show them with the bright orange notice.
Right.
And then every morning, one of my staff members goes to each floor, collects them, and then we wash and sanitize.
Okay. And again, I think that's where a lot of the confusion is. Yes, they are recyclable, but they're not to be thrown in the recycle bin.
Correct.
They're to be put into a specific
Right.
bin
It's not
for
It's
those.
not garbage recyclable. It's reusable to us.
Right.
And also we have the smaller ones for salads and desserts, and we also have the round soup containers.
Wow. Okay. So, wow, and that's a significant difference.
It's
I
a
mean,
significant loss.
a significant loss. I
Yes.
mean, that's expensive. These aren't cheap.
No.
And the purpose of them was to stop ordering styrofoam that is not recyclable, to do reusables, and they're just not being returned. So out of how many? So on average, you send out about 180 meals, or
Well, no.
right now you don't do
No,
that.
because the dining room was open back up. That was going back when we were closed.
Uh-huh.
On average, we're doing 30. Well, let's say on a Sunday when we just have the brunch, we're doing approximately anywhere between 80 and 95 meals.
80 and 95
On
meals.
Sundays, anywhere between 80 and 95 takeouts,
Mm-hmm.
and I have on average 6 containers.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot.
That's
So
a
people
lot.
are just either
Right.
keeping them for whatever reason they would want to keep them, or they're throwing them out, and that
Correct.
is not cost effective.
No, not
So, all right, residents. So there's a look at them again.
Yep.
If you have these in your apartment, please send them back to the kitchen. We need them back.
Yes. please.
All right. Thank you, Sherry.
You're welcome,
So,
Joanne.
oh, by the way, the lasagna today was fantastic.
Thank you. Our pleasure as always.
Yes, I broke every rule in my diet today. Boy, do I love pancake breakfast day. Please don't miss it. It is the fourth Wednesday of every month in Town Hall. It's $5. Starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it is a resident-run program that is absolutely fantastic. I mean, really, look at this work of art. You're going to take us on a field trip, right?
Yes, I am.
All right, we're going to learn all about garbage disposals.
Yay, our favorite subject.
Woohoo! You know, I woke up this morning saying, I don't know enough about garbage disposals. I want to learn more. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, Jeff, so we're in an apartment and you have a lesson to tell us about garbage disposals.
Yes, ma'am. Garbage disposals are a great thing in the kitchen for when you have just a few scraps on your plate and you don't want to put them in your trash because it smells or whatever, and you want to put it down your disposal. The disposals we have out here are really good for that, for small stuff. What our disposals are not good for is they're only half horsepower disposals. So they're not industrial strength. And that's the size of the disposal. That's the size of the hole that your food is going to be coming out of the disposal. So as you can see, it's not real big.
Yeah, it's not very big. It's the size of a thumb.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
things can really get backed up in there and stuck in there. The blades inside here, again, it's not industrial, and they just work by centrifugal force. As the disposal spins at about, 2,000, 3,000 RPMs, them little blades will just spin, and they don't really chop up real well. So that's why we have some of the issues that we do out here at Southport Square with garbage disposals backing up and getting clogged and things getting stuck in them.
Yeah, that's a big complaint.
It is.
Here, you find a lot of work orders for that?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
That's probably one of the more popular continual work orders that we get.
Okay.
And so another issue that we find is what we put down the disposal. And again, we need to be careful what we put down there. Certainly no grease, no rice, no noodles. Rice and noodles will expand when it gets wet. So if we put that down our drain systems and our drain lines, our pipes will get clogged. This is the size of the drain pipe that our food is going.
So our plumbing is this big?
Yes.
Okay.
Underneath our sinks. It eventually feeds into a 3-inch pipe, but basically going underneath our sinks, and until they tie into that 3-inch pipe, that's as big as we have. So if we have things like eggshells, for example, a lot of people will put eggshells down there, and a misnomer was that eggshells will actually help sharpen the blades.
Yeah, I always thought that. I
Yeah.
really did. I've done it, and I've gotten in trouble with my apartment complex.
Yes.
Stop putting eggshells down.
Yes, what happens is everything is smooth and concave in there. That eggshell goes in there and it's chopped up a little bit, but it'll sit when it's wet, and it'll sit in the side of that pipe like that. And eventually it'll build up and it'll clog your pipes.
Ah.
So
Yeah, because that becomes like glue.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And so things like eggshells, rice, bones, noodles, anything that's stringy. For example, lettuce. Carrot peelings, celery peelings, anything that can be stringy, it can get caught in here and start backing these pipes up. It can also get caught inside these blades and back that up.
So really, the garbage disposal is there to, when you drain your sink from doing dishes or catching dishes, you're catching the residue off of the dishes.
Exactly.
That's what it's there for. It's
Exactly.
not to empty your fridge out and get rid of all the leftovers.
Exactly.
Okay. All
Exactly.
right. I'm on the
Which-
same page with you.
Yes, you are, which takes us to the next point. When we do put things into our disposal, and we do have a disposal over here that I want to show you, but when we do put things in our disposal, what we want to do is we want to put things in a little bit at a time and not just stuff it full of stuff and then turn it on and try to rinse it out. That will clog them as well. So put a little bit at a time, and how we want to run these is we want to turn the water on first.
Does it matter if it's hot or cold water?
It doesn't. I typically use cold water. You don't really need hot water for these. Again, we're not we're not putting grease down this, so we don't want to run the hot water. You can run cold water, that's fine.
Okay.
So I turn the water on, let it run for a few seconds, and then your switch for your disposal will be over here on the wall next to your light switch. And we turn that on, and we just let that heat the food up. When we hear that it's clear, and that it's not chopping anything up anymore, then we shut the disposal off, let the water run for another 10-15 seconds just to rinse everything out, and simply turn it off, and we're done.
Now, Jeff, is it best to have it running then load it with food, or load it with food then put it on?
Well, we don't want to load it with food first.
Right,
of all.
yeah, we just contradict everything.
Yep. So we don't want to load it with food. I mean, you can stick some food items down there and then run it. Again, you just want to be careful how much you put down there at one time. You can put food down there while it's running. What I do caution you is do not ever put your fingers in here, or a knife or a fork or something like that, especially when it's running.
Right.
And I'll go one step further and say, you guys got us maintenance people out here. If you have an issue with your disposal, you call us and let us deal with it. I don't want you putting your fingers and stuff down there, period. And so basically that's the running of the disposal. Now, a couple of helpful hints. The other thing that I've been running into a few times is that some people don't run their disposals at all. They don't need to, or they're afraid of them. They're afraid of clogging things up, and that's great. That's fine. Whatever you feel comfortable with. But what we do ask is that you run it once a week, because what will happen is that the blades will actually rust up, and it'll freeze that disposal. So when you do want to run it, it's going to be froze up on you, and you're going to be calling us saying my disposal doesn't work, and we'll come and we'll simply unjam it or unfreeze it and take care of that for you. So we do ask that you do try to run it once a week. And again, if you don't even have any food in there, you simply turn the water on first, run it for a little bit, turn your disposal on, run it for 15-20 seconds, turn it off, and turn your water off. And if we do that, even if you don't run your disposal, that will keep it from freezing up a lot of times.
Oh, okay, good to know. I didn't even think of that.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
you got to use it or you lose it.
Exactly. Yeah, the dishwashers are the same way, and I know we're not talking about dishwashers. We don't have one in here, but all the seals and rubber O-rings and whatnot inside these units and inside just dishwashers, if they don't get ran, don't get wet, don't get lubricated, they'll dry up and crack, and then pretty soon we have a leak.
Right.
So,
right.
a couple things with the disposal. Ice is great for sharpening blades and helping to clean that disposal out, because it'll chop this ice up and make little shards and kind of throw them shards around inside your disposal, which will help wash that any food particles and things that you have in the disposal.
Oh, okay.
So what I suggest you do is you simply run your water, turn your disposal on, and then just drop a few chunks in at a time. If they don't drop down on their own, use a wooden spoon.
Or an empty pipe.
Yeah, a wooden spoon or an empty plastic pipe. Nothing metal. And don't stick your fingers in there.
Yeah, really.
But you can hear that ice going in there.
But this actually helps the garbage disposal.
It does.
It strengthens the blade, sharpens the blade, and clears up the line.
Yep, and helps clear out any food particles that might be in stuck in that disposal. And I just let it run until
So you don't hear it crunching.
So you don't hear it crunching anymore, and then turn it off and let it rinse a little bit.
Oh, okay. So if they did that once a week, they could really. That's a good way of maintaining
That'd
it.
be a good way of maintaining it, yes.
Oh, okay,
Yep,
good. Good to know. Nice tip there.
Yeah, no, if you ever want to freshen it up a little bit, and I thank the kitchen for this old lemon, but if you ever want to freshen it up a little bit, you certainly can cut lemon in wedges. Now, again, I caution you from putting too many peelings down there. Putting a little bit of a peeling like this from a lemon, you're okay. You'll be fine. But what this will also do is it'll help deodorize it. So if you just cut a couple lemon wedges, And
Very
again,
small, not like a half of a lemon, just
Yep,
a
very small
fraction
like
of
that.
a lemon.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Uh-huh.
And you take a couple of these wedges. Again, you turn it on, and then just stick the wedge down inside there.
Oh, it smells so good.
Yeah, so you get that freshness out of it, and it gets rid of any bad odors that you might have in there.
Yeah, it sounds like you just cleaned it.
So yeah, I've seen other people put bleach in there. A little bit of Dawn dish soap is always good. Just spray a little bit of Dawn dish soap and rinse it all out real good, because this breaks down any grease. Dawn does, so that also helps to do that once in a while. But that's just some simple maintenance tips and just some simple tips on how to use your disposal. Don't be afraid of it, but just be cautious of what you put down and how much.
Right. Well, thank you, Jeff.
You're very welcome. Thank you again for inviting me to give this lesson. I appreciate it. Yeah, I also wanted to mention to finish this up a little bit, is that if you have any questions about this or any other maintenance items, by all means, stop one of the maintenance guys and ask us. Any of us will be happy to answer whatever questions you have.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. You're always so pleasant.
Yeah, thank you.
We love you here in West.
I love it over here. I
Aw.
absolutely do. So. Thank
All right, residents. Well, I just want to remind everyone that there is an Orchid Club meeting next Tuesday, July 25th at 2:15 in Town Hall. And it's going to be hosted by our Orchid man, our local resident here, Charlie Rose. And one of the fun things about this Orchid Club meeting is this gentleman here. Yeah, you're the interesting thing there. Now, Charlie, when they show up to the meeting, they're all going to get a little raffle ticket for a door prize.
Right.
And the door prize is going to be a mounted bulbophyllum.
Yes, and we're going to it's bare root. We're going to mount the orchid on a piece of cork bark and show how it's done. And then we're going to award it as a prize, along with the regular little door prizes that we always have.
Right. Well, that should be fun. Now, how long does a Orchid Club meeting normally last? Is it about a half hour, hour?
An hour.
Okay, so residents, if you plan on attending, just plan on for an hour and be entertained. And it's everyone's going to be putting the orchids on the cork bark, right?
Well, I'm going to do it and demonstrate. And if anybody wants to do it,
They can do it too.
you can do it too.
All right. Well,
But we're
can't
only
be-
going to have one orchid and one piece of cork bark. so-
right. But you haven't had an orchid meeting in a while because you had every time you went to go have a meeting, something happened. So, yep, you had a little emergency. This little cloud, this is Charlie right here. And he had a little rain cloud over him. We won't mention this. We're not going to jinx it. We're going to knock on wood. But you're feeling okay and up for this, and
Nothing is askew.
nothing is askew. All right. Well, enjoy the Orchid Club, everyone. Again, it's going to be on Tuesday at 2:15 in Town Hall, July 25th. All right, Charlie. We'll see you there.
Bye. See
Bye.
you there.
Well, today is Pat's birthday.
Yes, it is.
All right, Pat, you know what the drill is. You ready? I'm going to sing for you.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
This is a gem. You can reuse it if you'd like.
Okay.
This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Around the Square, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
I've got jokes for you.
Good, because I have been missing jokes for like the last week and a half.
Yeah,
and I'm feeling really bummed. I need a good joke right now.
Well, I don't know about the good ones, but I'll
All
give
right,
them to you.
I'll take a bad joke. That'll be good
There
too.
you go. Well, I have a joke here. This one, I have two jokes this week. The first one was submitted by Miss Satchel,
Okay.
and she says, "Why is the bicycle Having trouble standing.
Having trouble standing. I don't know.
It is too tired. Get it?
Oh,
Too tired.
Too tired. It's too tired. Good one, Teresa.
Yeah,
Love it.
that was a really good one.
That's
All
awesome.
right. I have the second doozy.
All right.
Was given to me by Bev Winslow. She pops her
Oh.
head in here. She gives me this funny little joke and then it pops right on out.
All
And it was just very funny.
All right, let's hear what Bev has to say.
All right, Bev says, "How do you make a lobster roll?
I don't know.
You push it."
Oh, of course. That works, yeah.
You were thinking about the food.
I was. I'm like, well, I think there's a bun involved and some other stuff, but yeah. All
A little
right.
bit of mayo.
I love it. Yeah, make a lobster roll. All
Push
right.
it.
Well, good. Thank you. Well, some great jokes.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
it.
All right. Well, have a great weekend, everybody.